Ladies and guests, my name is Richard Dent and I'm your MC for today. We would like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri and Bunurong people of the Kulin Nation and pay our respects to elders, past, present and future, and extend that respect to all Indigenous Australians here today. Welcome to our hybrid meeting to those online and to those in the room. And a very special thing happened for me last week because the wonderful Jane Pennington, who's part of our polio initiative, has been selling these fantastic socks, and today I'm wearing in polio nail red socks. I don't know if they're 200% Australian made, but the idea is still very good, I thought. Thanks today will be given by past President Robert Fisher, followed by the Loyal Toast presented by President Adrian. Please ensure your glass is charged. Robert Fisher.
Thank you very much, Richard. In Rotary, service above self is our principal motto. As a global network of volunteers, we strive to make the world a better place through humanitarian service. This means that we put the needs and interests of ourselves above those that we serve. Service above self is based on the principles of our four-way test, which guides us to act with integrity, fairness, and goodwill for the benefit of all. Today, we will hear from Vice President Peter Davis about some of the extraordinary activities of Rotary Melbourne over the past year and recognize the exceptional contributions of a couple of our members. At the end polio meeting that Mary Barry and I attended last weekend, we were encouraged to adopt an LSD approach to the continuing drive to eliminate polio once and for all. LSD in this context is not, of course, about a drug, but an abbreviation standing for Learn, Speak, Donate. In all our Rotary projects, we would do well to learn about what is possible, speak to colleagues about how to make things happen, and donate our time and resources to accomplish them. So for good food and friendships through Rotary, we give thanks.
Rotarians and guests, a toast to Australia and Rotary International. Australia and Rotary International. Thank you. Please be seated. We will be breaking for lunch. For those online, you will be invited to join a breakout room where you can enjoy the fellowship of others, and we will reconvene at 1:10 p.m. Thank you. Members, visitors and guests, it is my pleasure to welcome you to our 46th meeting of this Rotary year and our 5,037th meeting in our 103rd year. Wonderful to see you all here today, including those attending online. Today is an important day in the club's calendar, the annual presentation by the club's vice presidents and recognition of some individual Rotarians for exemplar activities in this year. Vice President Catherine Baxter is unable to attend today, but sends her apologies. Vice President Peter Davis will report on behalf of the club directorates. And as our guest today, we have club member, immediate past president, Adrian Nelson. Adrian will shortly be recognised by the club and named a Paul Harris Fellow, and is accompanied by his father, Theo Nelson, Paul Harris Fellow, past member of Williamstown. Also here is Peter Berg, accompanied by his daughter Elise, her husband Hernan Cuervo, and granddaughter Anna. Would you please acknowledge and make our Rotarians and their guests all welcome? Thank you. It's also wonderful to see Richard Fowler back today and enjoying some learnings face-to-face with the sort of activities we've been doing. So welcome back. We have visiting Rotarians, visitors and guests of members. I invite you and your host to stand when your name is announced and ask that you please remain standing to enable the club to welcome you in a collective manner. So we have the International Visiting Rotarian, Rayanora from the Nepal Club. Welcome. Bruce Levitt from Kununurra. Daniel Kutsamanis, guest of Reg Smith, and Emmanuel Sparras as well. So welcome and enjoy the lunch and fellowship. Thank you. And now to some new news and club awards. So next week, a reminder, is our final meeting of the year, our changeover, and all members are encouraged to attend, bring a guest, and join me in congratulating our incoming fabulous leading executive, leading Rotarian President Catherine Baxter. At the recent King's Birthday Honours announcements, we identified a member of the Order of Australia was awarded to our past Angus Mitchell orator, Rotarian Professor John Howard Skerritt, for significant service to public health administration and governance and to scientific research. And you may remember his presentation on COVID and how the TGA was managing that process. So I've written on behalf of the club to congratulate him. So 3 also upcoming events to note: the D9800 changeover lunch this Sunday, the 30th of June at the Ultima Keilor Park. Rotaract Melbourne University Charter this Sunday, 23rd of June, 11:30 to 2 p.m. at Graduate House, University of Melbourne. And the Rotary Club of Rochester's 60th anniversary lunch this Saturday, 6 July. There are members from our club attending, and if you're interested in joining or knowing more, please contact Joe at the Rotary office. And now to the business of the day. Without further ado, I call to the podium Vice President Peter Davis to take over today's meeting and deliver this year's Vice President's report.
That was the introduction to the AI summit that we had a few weeks ago. It's a good kick-off. In answer to Peter's question a minute ago, is there a list? I'm not going to run through a list. Our club's so active and does so many interesting things that I think I'd be booed off the stage pretty quickly if I started going through it line by line. So what I'd like to do today is talk about some highlights for the club. And if someone's looking for a more extensive list, I refer them to the website. My first topic is Rotary events. And I think the club should be rightfully proud of the excellent events that we've put in and hosted during the last 12 months. It reflecting the thoughtfulness and hard work of members that achieved these results. Especially special thanks go to Stephen Rando and George Giardamarcos. The year kicked off with the first, only a few weeks ago, we were lucky enough to have the AI Summit over at the Royal Society of Victoria. Gave us a great chance to connect with that esteemed establishment, something that's been around in Victoria even longer than we have. It was an insightful and thought-provoking session. It was fully booked, it was a fully sold out event. After the event, we had some great fellowship with Royal Society members, and it was very well catered. The other thing that the next one I'd like to mention was the Myths Busted event that we had on 15 November last year. I particularly enjoyed that event. I learnt a lot. I was shocked by how many people came. It was very well patronised, and especially by people that we don't know. So it wasn't just club members there. There was a lot of potential club members as well. It was held at Brighton Porsche, and the speakers, 3 excellent, knowledgeable speakers that shared their knowledge with us. So fantastic event. We also had our usual events that were done extremely well this year with excellent speakers. We had Arthur Sinodinos. come and attend here at Sofitel and present the Angus Mitchell oration. And that was attended by over 150 people. We also had a wonderful Sir Thomas Baker oration by Dr. Doug Hilton, CEO of the CSIRO. Again, over 150 people in attendance and a great event. I'd also bring you back to the way we kicked off the events in the year, which was the first Angus Mitchell oration that we had in 2023. And that was where we had former PM John Howard give the oration. At that one, we had over 300 people in attendance. It was a very thoughtful and engaging speech from John Howard. And at that meeting, we also launched our 5,000 Acts of Kindness. Now, that was a celebration of the 5,000th meeting of our club. And some of the acts of kindness that I'm going to mention to you now is that those acts of kindness were very varied, and here are some of them. A new ventilator is on its way to Papua New Guinea for snakebite treatment. 15 members volunteered for Rymern. We supported 15 trainees aged 12 to 24 at Catering for Change. 25 people with Alzheimer's disease were supported through PALZ, Professionals with Alzheimer's. 46 students received scholarships from Empowering Youth Cambodia. 100 tea chests were packed for Make a House a Home. 300 native seedlings were planted from Victoria Indigenous Nursing Co-op. 12,000 meals were packed in 1.5 hours for a meal. And 20,000 bees were purchased in 2 hives by Star of the Sea College students, with proceeds from winning our environmental award. Now the Paul Harris Fellowship. The Paul Harris Fellow is named for Paul Harris, who founded Rotary with 3 business associates in Chicago in 1905. The Paul Harris Fellow was established in his honour in 1957 to express appreciation for a contribution of $1,000 to support humanitarian and educational programs of the Rotary Foundation, funded, implemented and managed by Rotarians and Rotary clubs around the globe. It is the tradition of this club that the naming of a Paul Harris Fellow is based upon the contribution of individual members and deserving members of the community who practice the Rotary motto, service above self. Today, we recognise the exemplary efforts of Adrian Nelson as a Paul Harris Fellow. I call on President Chris to read the citation and ask Adrian to join us on the podium. President Chris.
I'll now read an edited citation. The full citation will be published in next week's bulletin. Adrian Nelson has been a Rotarian since 2003 and joined Rotary Melbourne in October 2018 with a classification of funeral services, having transferred as a past president from the Rotary Club of Glenara. Adrian's contribution to Rotary over the past 20 years is extensive and includes mentoring foundation scholars, taking District 9800 leadership roles, including leading a group study exchange team to the Netherlands in 2007, serving as Director of Vocational Service and Public Image and Communications, and an Assistant Governor of the Heritage and Port Phillip clusters. He has been recognised with a District Service Award and is a member of the Paul Harris Society supporting the Rotary Foundation. Adrian is a lawyer by profession, born in Melbourne and educated in Australia and the US. He's the chief executive of his family business, Nelson Brothers Funeral Services, Victoria's oldest family-owned and operated funeral business established in 1858. Adrian is the club's 106th president and despite his commitments and young family, accepted the leadership role when approached on the inability of then President-elect Bev Brock to take on the role with little more than a month's prior notice to start his term. So we thank you very much for that very important commitment. In his year as president, Adrian supported the establishment and success of several legacy projects, including the creation and fundraising of Peace Bells project at the newly named Rotary Melbourne Peace Park. Adrian led a delegation of club members to Osaka for its 100th celebrations, connecting the Osaka and Melbourne Lord Mayors and beaming in via Zoom for our AGM on that day from Osaka City Hall. And we still remember that. Our fellowship and connectedness were at the fore of Adrian's Rotary leadership, and to that end, he drove fundraising for Rotary Rochester for flood relief, promotion of the sports and the arts, volunteering opportunities and prominent speaker presentations, with the highlight being the Angus Mitchell oration at our 5,000th meeting by former Prime Minister John Howard, where he launched our 5,000 Acts of Kindness project. So that was his initiative. As our president during the 2023 RI convention in Melbourne, he was dynamic and inspiring, organising a successful international fellowship cocktail night at the Windsor, involving clubs from all over the world and raising funds in support of the Peace Bells. Adrian is a natural at public relations, helping design the Rotary Melbourne flower bed. I've got some garden space as well, if you want to ever pop in. That featured in St Kilda Road during the convention and has led the club to have the most enviable social media, which was spotlighted as the gold standard by RI. He was a welcoming figure at the convention with his beaming smile, infectious laugh, firm handshake, and coloured spectacles, in case you haven't noticed. Adrian, you have served Rotary and the club with distinction and in a commendable manner, and we take pride in today recognising your efforts with a Paul Harris Fellow. On behalf of the members and the board, I present you your Paul Harris Fellow citation. And as you are many times over Paul Harris Fellow, as a strong supporter of the Rotary Foundation, there is no official pin. Therefore, I've asked Joe to strike a unique and suitable medal to present your hashtag PHF recognition. Could you please join me in congratulating Adrian? Well, thank you, President Chris. And I thought that was meant to be the brief version, so I'll have fun reading this at some point later on. First of all, thank you to the entire club for this recognition. You don't join Rotary for awards and recognition. If you do, you've probably joined Rotary for the wrong reasons. Having said that, it's very nice to be recognised, the club, for the work that we've done. Last Sunday, I attended the Past President's Lunch, which is an annual event, and we got to hear from President Chris about the year behind, and we got to hear from incoming President Catherine Baxter about the year ahead. We had about 40 in attendance going back to, I think, 1986, Club President John Edmonds, who was there. And I know a number of past presidents are here in the room today. What it highlighted for me was that when you become president of a club like the Rotary Club of Melbourne, is that you get the year that you get. So whatever lands in it and whatever happens in that year is the year that you get, and you do the best that you can, you hold on tight for the ride, and you steer it in whatever direction you can. So for me, I was fortunate in the Rotary International Convention fell in my year. And for me, it was great. Obviously, I've got a lot of Rotary experience, and in particular, internationally, having led a group study exchange team to the Netherlands. I've been to Rotary clubs in the US, in the UK as well. We got to go to Japan during the year. So for me, the internationality of Rotary was something that shone out and fell in my lap as president for that year. And hopefully I was able to embrace that and share that, amongst other things, with the club. And hopefully some of that internationality rubbed off on many of you as well.
Now, of course, Rotary is about all the good work that we do, and we've heard some great things already from Vice President Peter, and we're going to hear some more shortly as well. The thing that we don't do very well as Rotarians is actually tell other people what we do and share our great stories. And that's probably our biggest weakness. So if there's one thing I can implore on all of you is to tell your Rotary stories to other people that you know from outside Rotary. Share what we do, tell them what we do. It's fantastic when you look at all the things that we do. This year we've submitted an award to the district, and so hopefully we can win it this year in the field of public image and communications. And in particular for this award, we're focused on the areas that the club does, including social media, our website, our video work as well. And as part of the submission, what we did is we put together a short video to tell more about what we do. And we'd like to show that for you today. So with that, thank you very much for this. Cross your fingers that this video works behind me, and celebrate what we do and share your stories. Thank you very much.
That was a great video. That was a great video, and thanks to everyone who put together, especially past President Adrian. The other thing that I feel our club should be rightfully proud is our community outreach and engagement. We kicked off the year with the commemoration of the Battle of Amiens, which is an annual event we hold at the Shrine on the 8th of August at 8 a.m, actually arriving quarter to 8. My chance to plug that one. And make sure you come because it's an excellent event and well worth coming to. Following that, during the year, we had the Young Achievers Award. This gives the chance for the club to engage with high achieving young people and it enables us to recognise and celebrate their achievement and also to inspire others to do likewise. Something else we should be proud of is the annual seniors lunch, and it was a great success this year in November. Health and Ageing Committee organised the lunch at Max's restaurant on the peninsula, and it was attended by 50 seniors from inner Melbourne who had a wonderful day. One of the areas of focus for Rotary is protecting the environment. The Environmental Sustainability Committee has done a wonderful job each year in holding the environmental lunch. And a couple of weeks ago, we had a chance to see the presentation of the Environmental Sustainability Award. It was great to see the award given to young students for their project. On this occasion was reducing waste in clothing. Peter Berg has a great involvement in this area of the club, as well as with Safe Families. The Axel Award citation. A trophy in the form of an axle, which represents the hub of the Rotary wheel, is given to a Rotarian who, during the year, has given that little bit extra in service above self. This award is voted upon by the board and is presented as the Vice President's Encouragement Award. This year, the board has selected Peter Berg for recognition. Rotary Melbourne is honoured to present the 2024 Axel Award to Peter Berg for his service as a club builder and champion for the environment and family violence prevention. Peter was inducted on 26 March 2017 with the classification Financial Services, Banking, Treasury, and his sponsor was Gary Fowler. Peter's thoughtful and kind manner has made him a popular choice for the recognition. Peter is a member of Central One, the Investment and Community Welfare Committees, and is a club ambassador for the Rotary Safe Families Project and of the Rotary Green Line Planning Committee and a member of the Rotary Action Group for Environmental Sustainability. Peter was a co-founder of our Environment Committee and went on to develop the club's Environmental Award in our centenary year, where he was recognised as a Paul Harris Fellow by the club. The environment blogs and snippets you read in the bulletin are provided by Peter with a goal to keep the environment in the fore. Peter's focus in Rotary is on an enduring good footing for our world and our community. His collegiate nature is shown in co-chairing 2 interclub relationships in Rotary Safe Families, Inclusive Communities Initiative and the City of Melbourne Green Line project, both important and very relevant activities which are in good hands with Peter through his guiding relationship and actions. By his commitment to service above self, Peter is well and truly a worthy recipient of this award. I'd like to invite Peter to the podium.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you very much. Look, it's an honour to be up here today and also to follow on from Adrian's great words. And actually, Adrian's dad, who lives in the same apartment building as I do, and we see each other regularly, which is great. Look, I'm delighted to receive the 2024 Axel Award, and it's an honour to be in the company of the previous award recipients, especially following on from Mark Glace's recipient of the 2023 award. Actually, I have been with them for over 10 years, actually, and this actually came at an important time in my life. I've very much enjoyed being a member of the club with the camaraderie and fellowship that we have at these lunch meetings, making new friends and the great opportunities available to have an involvement in community projects and activities of which our club has many. And we just heard about this. Look, Rotary is a wonderful organisation. And I'm one of those people Adrian referred to before. Before I joined Rotary, I had no idea of the outreach and what Rotary gets involved in. We're involved in Rotary in so many different areas, positively impacting the lives of millions of people across the globe. And it's quite extraordinary. And so this lack of knowledge of the breadth of outreach has really hit home to me in what we're doing. And also, I didn't realise the impact of the endeavours of Rotary Melbourne over so many years in areas such as the Indigenous communities, the remote communities, assisting them, and also the humanitarian projects that we have been involved with our near north neighbours in the Pacific Islands, which is just ongoing in different areas. But my career was spent in banking and financial services, which I've had almost 50 years, both here and overseas. And so it was a perfect fit when I joined the club to immediately join the investment committee, which I'm still on, with a dedicated group of club members, some of them here today as well. And we meet every quarter with Morgan Stanley, our investment advisor, to decide on how best to invest Rotary Melbourne's funds. And over the next few years, opportunities arose to be involved in projects and activities. It's the projects that I love. That's what I really love in terms of what we do. And so I got involved on the Environment and the Arts Committee, that wonderful David Cram running the Arts Committee. And then, as mentioned before, with Gary, was privileged to establish the Environmental Sustainability Committee with Gary Fowler. And then 3 years ago, joined the Community Welfare Committee with Mary Barry as the chair. Also another great group of people in the club. In my role as the club's ambassador for Rotary Safe Families. Collaborating on projects with fellow Rotary Melbourne members, along with Rotarians from other clubs, I've much valued, and the wisdom and insights, of which there is plenty, shared in these groups has been rather special. And importantly, it's really been uplifting and eye-opening to me to see the galvanising work of individuals and leadership teams in local communities who, in partnership with Rotarians, come together to improve the quality of life, especially for those in need. True examples of the Rotary motto, which Robert alluded to before, service above self, which is happening with and I see happening with the inspiring work of young leaders in culturally and linguistically diverse communities, along with young entrepreneurs who've established environmentally and socially responsible enterprises. So thank you once again. Thank you to the board for choosing me for this year's Axel Award nomination recipients. And thank you to Rotary Melbourne members, particularly to those who I've worked with closely over the years for a very great rewarding experience of being a member colleague in this fine club. So thank you.
Thanks, Peter. Very well deserved. A popular way of engaging with the club by the Met Club members and improving fellowship is through volunteering. It's extremely healthy for the club that we have many volunteering opportunities available to us. One avenue of volunteering is round the bay in a day. This is one that's resonated for me as soon as I joined the club, and I think I can claim that I have not missed 1 year as a rider and sponsored rider in the club. I absolutely enjoy it. The ways in which this event raises money is through rider sponsorship, and another way is through volunteer marshals. There's a silent auction, and there's donations. It's held in October every year, and Trevor Nink is very heavily involved in it. It's a very enjoyable day with excellent fellowship and volunteering opportunities. But also, we should be very proud that this day raises every year over $20,000 to support the worthy work of the Smith family. The Smith family in Learning for Life program is supported by us every year through this program and through this particular event. Great for the club, great for the Smith family. We should be proud. Another way in which another avenue of volunteering, there's many, by the way, on the website, just under the tab volunteering, and I'm not going to go through them all. But one I would like to highlight is Rotary Inner Melbourne Emergency Relief Network, known as RYMERN. You might recall our first meeting of the year was a volunteering day at RYMERN. I'd like to call on John Perbity to come and tell us a little bit more about volunteering with RYMERN. Thanks, John.
Well, thank you very much, Peter. It's indeed an honour to speak on behalf of RYMERN and to promote this particular work of Rotary. As most of you know, I got married last year, and my wife's a consultant and I'm a consultant, and we decided we didn't want to work with each other. So we had to find something that we could do together. And Jo, in her subtle way, rang us one day and suggested we'd make perfect hosts to work at RYMERN 1 day a week as volunteers, and we host the clients when they come in to select this furniture which has been donated and is part of the recycling. As I said, residential recycling. It's recycled furniture, and we connect people in need with furniture and household goods. And it's such a privilege to be involved, but there's numerous volunteering activities there. If any of you can drive a truck, we'd love to have a second driver, but we have many opportunities within the factory as well. We pre-pack quite a lot of things, particularly crockery, cookware. They're put into boxes. Could you imagine how long it would take for a client to have to choose their crockery if they were going to choose their crockery? So we do a lot of pre-packing. We have a diligent group of ladies working upstairs packing the cookware and also utensils and so on. So they're in packs, so we can give them and not spend a lot of time there and focus on just showing the clients the bigger items that they wish to select. But volunteering is a great way of working, as Peter said too. It's when we're at the factory, we're a team. Irrespective, we've got young people coming in to help us now. We've got one young guy. He comes in with his mum, who's a Rotarian, and he just loves it. But he's learning skills while he's there. He's helping to repair some of the things that just need a little bit of touch up. Some of the bookshelves need the shelves to be fitted properly. And there's just no shortage to the range of things that people can do. And those who came to that meeting at the start of this year will recognise that, because many of you probably did something for the first time that you haven't done previously, and it was great to have our club there. So we are always looking for more volunteers. What's actually happened at Ryman this year is that for the last 12 months, we have really been ramping up our activities. We now have 4 clients each of the 3 days in which we operate. So when we go in on a Thursday, it's a busy Thursday dealing with 4 clients. It takes quite a while to take them around, let them select. And for me, part of the satisfaction is just the way in which we see them change from the time they arrive to the time they leave, and the joy on their faces when they suddenly realise their home is going to have some furniture in it. They've normally been given somewhere to live by one of the housing agencies who bring these people to us. And it's hard to explain when you've had a comfortable life, just what it feels like if you've got an empty house. And within a couple of days, it's going to be filled with some furniture, which to them looks like great furniture, and some household appliances. They're going to be able to cook. They're going to be able to eat on plates. They'll have a table and they'll have chairs and all the things we take for granted. And so we go away and we just chatter away on the way home in the car about each of the clients and just what a joy it has been to see the change in their face. Because many come in, they have really bad experiences of life and they'll have mental illness as well. And we can be part of their healing. So we want to thank all of you who participate. I get regular phone calls from members asking, can they donate, or what do they do? Hopefully you're all signed up for the newsletter now, because that gives you a regular update of just what's happening at Ryman. But it's been a joy to be involved. We love it. We're going to continue being involved at Ryman, and it is making a difference. Thank you.
Thank you, John. That was very good to hear, and an excellent volunteering opportunity. The last thing I just would like to mention are the fellowship opportunities. I firmly believe that fellowship is the glue that holds the club together. It creates the relationships, it creates the glue and the teams that can then be implemented in projects and doing the other good things that Rotary does. So we should be proud of the fellowship opportunities, and we should also engage with them when we can. I would encourage everyone to join your group and enjoy the group atmosphere. It's a great way of having a different Rotary experience in your local area, and makes great connections. Other things that we're able to do are just pure fellowship, but very important. Events like the NGV put on by the Arts Committee is fantastic. And we should also thank Barbara for the architectural walks and things that she does. And I'm sure I've left out many others, but yes, I think that something else that we should be proud about is fellowship in Rotary. Pretty much come to the end of what I'd like to talk about today. So hopefully the timing's not too bad. So thank you to the directors and chairs, and for the people who helped me out today. Thanks to the visitors and guests for attending. Thanks also to our Thanksgiver MC, Mr. Richard Dent, and our lunch setup and reception teams for their fantastic effort in making this meeting happen. As always, if you can stay back for a few minutes to assist with the pack-up, they would be greatly appreciated. A reminder that next week is the club's annual President's Changeover. We'll be meeting downstairs on level 1, and hope you and your partner will join us to celebrate the year of President Chris, and welcome our 108th President, Catherine Baxter. Please.